answer to both. Please like, share, subscribe, donate, all that good jazz. If you want to book a read with me, donate to Heaven on Earth. Or if you just want a one-on-one session with me, the email, the information is in the description box below. Just hit your girl up. Yeah. Anywho, this video is going to be about monitoring spirits and just the things I've learned from my experience with monitoring spirits, because my destiny, and it's not even just my destiny, it's so big. It's the the mindset, the narcissistic mindset of the person, because this person have so many people that agree with them, so they keep doing it and keep doing it. It's pure, at this point it's for pure entertainment. It's for selfish delusion and illusions, and just to build this person's ego up, that this person constantly comes against me. It is, if I say something, like if I give a positive testimony, if I get praise from somebody, anything can trigger this person, because you have to understand, when a narcissist is a narcissist and they're constantly fed, their ego get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then once you just do something just to tip them off, then it's World War III and IV in this piece. You feel me? And that's just what it is. At this point, is not is the whole point is to keep me away from my twin, to make me, stressed, to make me older than what I appear, or just to take my focus off of love, off of my purpose. They don't like my north node, they don't like my purpose. And so it's a plethora of things that goes into this monitoring spirits, the spiritual warfare of how they will leave you one day, and how they will leave alone. Sometimes people who do these monitoring spirits and try to control your brain, be masterminds and stuff, won't stop until they die. And that is determined by the spirit of God. Well, first of all, by their actions and their mindset. And then once God get enough to it, then death will happen to that person, because they're not earthly good. God keep giving people chance after chance after chance after chance, and they still come against those chances. So it's up to that person when they want to stop. Well, hey, I'm not, it's not good. I'm going nowhere. This person still is going to do what they're going to do. But some people feed off the force that you have, because God is a regenerator. So, the devil's people like to mimic God's people. So they pretend like they're regenerating, but in all actuality, they're not regenerating. What they're doing is pure from ego, because okay, if you can do this, then I can do this. But they're going to do it in a demonic way, because you got to understand, their mind is tricked. And so anybody that has an ego problem, a very prideful problem, they're going to constantly do this until, till they get satisfaction. And then they don't stop after they get satisfaction. They're going to keep doing it, because if you got to understand, it's constantly feeding those demons. It's constantly feeding those egos. So that's one thing. You have to know who's attacking you, so you can understand how to proceed, how to motion yourself after them, how to pivot in situations. Because for a long time, I didn't know a particular ex-president and his wife were attacking me using spiritual warfare. And I thought it was other people, and this person would confuse me a lot. And that was a part of the warfare, up in my discernment and just being in my calling. This is my purpose. This is my calling, to go through this warfare with this particular person. I don't know what I did to this person. I did nothing. I'm way younger. He has a penis and 2 whole balls, and he came from out of a whole female's uterus to come against me, who's a woman that's way younger than him. He should have been being my mentor, a nice, or just being a decent human being. But this person sold their soul for knowledge. So they're going to continue to do what they do, because they feel like, oh, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get knowledge. And they lost control. At this point, I understand the bigger picture. I understand everyone who's attacking me. I understand everything. So they're going to constantly come against me with warfare. They're going to constantly do it, because at this point, they got away with it for so long. And now that I am up and I understand everything that's going on, they're upset that they're gaining. They're upset that they're losing, and I'm gaining stamina, and they're losing stamina for the simple fact is I know who's attacking me now. Before, I was just going on faith, because you got to understand, I'm way younger than this person. This person's old enough to be my father, first of all. So he has more life experiences. Plus, he's been in high places, in the Oval Office know about spells and rituals and other things that us normal people, us civilians, don't have privy to. So everything that I learned from the spirit of God and being attacked through um this particular person's uh agenda, witchcraft, warcraft, whatever you want to call it, warfare, all that negative energy that he was throwing out. I learned it through just going through and bearing, withstanding and building up my perseverance with God, with my discernment, knowing what's going on in the world, and just living life. And that's how I'm able to get on here and talk about it. So when I talk about this, I know from experience what I'm talking about. But you do need to know at a point when you build yourself up spiritually who's attacking you, so you can understand the warfare. Because when you understand who's attacking you, psychologically, the mind of this person, the psychological standpoint of this person, who their parents, why they do what they do, and once you understand that bigger picture of the person, then you understand how to counteract the attacks. And now that I understand who, what, when, where, how, and all that good stuff, now that I get the bigger picture, it's easier for me to maintain the warfare at this point and to put this person, this narcissistic karmic, in their place. I don't even think he's a narcissist anymore. I think he's a psychopath. He's a psychopath and a sociopath. He's scored high on psychopathy and on social apathy and all of that, and narcissism. I don't know if he had DID. I don't think he does. I just think he's a narcissist just because of the level of warfare he does, and just because of how steady, how he just does everything. It's crazy how you can have two daughters that's girls, but you could come against a whole woman that did nothing to you. I did nothing to this person. All I did was exist. I did nothing to this person. Nothing at all. Nothing. I have never interacted with this person ever. Before the attack, this is what I'm talking about. Before he knew of me, before I knew of him, I just learned of who he was spiritually and what he did spiritually. He knew of me way before. Like I said, when I was in Florida, like over 10, 11 years ago, I've been getting attacked by this person, and I wasn't understanding because I hadn't been initiated into my calling yet. Yeah, I had done some healing work and stuff like that, and didn't even know that I was doing that. It was just my soul journey, just doing naturally what it does to attract, to heal, to be the person that I am, not consciously knowing that that's what I were doing. So this person did that. They sold their soul for knowledge and for power, and this is why this person is coming against me, because he needs to collect my soul. He needs to collect me, my soul, my essence, in order to withstand his domain on this earth. And I didn't know I was that powerful. When you are in God, you're humble. And I understand everybody have some level of power, but to be in this high place, to come against me, knowing that you came from a vagina, to attack another person who did nothing to you that has a vagina, is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And you're old enough to be my father is double crazy to me, because at the same token, I would have never thought even to do this to anyone. And that's because I have a Christ conscience. That's because I have Yeshua's conscience. That's why. He doesn't. He sold his soul, so he has a devil conscience. So he's going to constantly come against me. He's going to constantly do this and constantly warfare against me in sick ways. He tried to assassinate my character, my image, my body, odor, smell, my whole essence of who I was, because you have to understand, he has to try to dominate me and put me in a lower state so that he can be able to kill me, to sacrifice me, so that he can have true power. And he was able to sacrifice me. He was able to get to my twin. And if he was able to sacrifice my twin, it will be easier for him to get to me. And that's the whole purpose of keeping the two souls apart. The two people apart with the one soul, to keep the two people that have one soul apart. That's his whole purpose. That's why he has to do that. Because once we come together in the flesh, not just the spirit, he has no domain. He's gonna be, his kingdom, Satan's kingdom, is gonna fall drastically. That craziness, that all these stuff that's going on, prices and killings, murders, and sacrifices. You understand when people like that get in high places and they sell their soul for power and fame and for power and fortune and knowledge, they have to collect the power for as much power that they ask for. That's how much power they have to collect. Sometimes double or triple that just to make it right. That's why it's good to co-create and not just be a taker. Taker. Co-create meaning you embody the energy that you have. You embody it. You embody what you want, and you build yourself up to co-create and talk to the angels and the higher beings and come in agreeing with them for the greatest good of all and for what you want to and your purpose. He doesn't want that to happen because he already sold his soul. He's already damned. There's no when God said you that scripture about blaspheming, I fully understand now. This person fully understood. This is not no subliminal. This is what they trick. He fully understood. Even after doing this for the first few years, he fully understood. He's fully aware. That's blaspheming because you come against your own soul purpose, your own soul mission here. I can see if you did it and then you was like, oh my God, like, yeah, I messed up. He wasn't like, oh my God, I messed up. Or he was like that for a little while. Then he just like, okay, I'm just going to go with it. I did it. Four wheels flat. He going to ride. So that's what he chose. And that's blasphemy. When you come against your own greater good, that's blasphemy. That's the meaning of blasphemy. And I'm not talking about, self-sabotaging. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, consciously, you're doing this on mass amount of people. Not only are you casting spells on mass amount of people, you're doing this to children as well. This is one of the most, because children are the future. You should not tarnish people for anybody at that person, but children are more precious to God because they're more innocent. They haven't really done anything to anyone but exist. And that's why he tried to take me out my God essence, because I was just a child when he learned of me, and I was innocent, and God protected me so much, and angels protected me so much because of people like him. But when you attack children and you keep constantly doing it even afterwards just to maintain your image, if how can I put it, if what you ask for hurts other people, then you shouldn't have it. What I mean by that, I'm not talking about Christ conscious people that's warring against the evil and trying to help other people and build people up that sin. If what you ask for has to damage other people, requires other people's soul, other people's livelihood, and things of that nature, then you should not have it. It's not benefit the greater good of all. You should not have it. And that's what demonic people do. That's what demonic entities do. That's what they constantly do. 24/7. It makes sense, but if you're a Christ conscious person, it's hard to fathom. And it's hard for me to fathom. The only reason I'm allowed to fathom this is because I am at a standpoint in warfare that it is much needed for me to understand the opposite, the antichrist people, and how the top, because I'm God's eyes, ears, and nose. I'm his mouthpiece. This person is like Satan's mouthpiece. This person is like the same to what I am, but in the opposite direction. I'm Christ conscious. He's anti-Christ conscious. And so when he got in office, we thought it was all good, but it was not. It was not. That's why they said the Bible said of the coming of the Antichrist, and he was that. So you have to understand that you have to constantly deliver yourself. Know the person, know who's attacking you. Constantly deliver yourself. Pray. You should pray anyways. But I didn't know when I started on this journey. I didn't know about all this stuff, all this, mind control stuff and all that stuff. And people take it lightly, and it is not something light. It's really not. It's really, and they think you're crazy, but you're not. But you have to know the person that's attacking you. Once you understand the psychological standpoint of the person and their educational background and their family background, then you can understand how to pivot yourself. That prayer to deliver yourself from demons and stuff. I think, what's that prayer? I think it's called what's the name of that prayer? I got it. I know the name of it. Give me a second, y'all. Bear with me. Oh, monitoring spirits prayer or marine spirits prayer. If anybody know that, you could just look up prayers and do them. But the most thing that I've learned, I don't know how your spiritual, but most of the time after I pray and they come back, the prayer is not only to stop them, but when they come back, the prayer will help you because you have that power. You built up that power in the spirit. You're able to go within yourself, within your soul, and see what you're being attacked about, and actually warfare in your dreams, in your vision state. You can actually warfare against them. You're going to be cutting them up. Sometimes they'll pray, if you cut me up, to multiply, and then what you have to, sometimes you have to bind them. So it's different at different stages. Is going to be different because depending on the person that's attacking you. Sometimes you just have to transmute because they set themselves up so strongly in the spiritual realm that you don't attack. You just counterattack by removing. Say, God, remove this from me, and then transmute it into such and such because of how they set themselves up in the spiritual realm to come against you. That's a big thing that a lot of people don't talk about, the octopus spirits. And I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, how to end it permanently. There's no permanently when somebody's determined, unless they die. Is no permanently unless somebody is determined to do this. Or somebody's so determined, if they're so willed into doing this against you, or they heavily invested, emotionally invested into doing this against you, most of the time they have to die. And people don't talk about that, I guess, because they don't want to be looked at in a certain light, but they have to die. And that can be arranged. That can be arranged. Yeah. So what else, Holy Spirit, I need to say? Yeah, and we think it's so abstract, but it's not, and it's because the way that spirituality is taught, it made us to think that something is outside of us, or we're being demon possessed. But being demon possessed and being downloaded with monitoring spirits, two different things. Demon possessed is you actively open a portal to let a demon into you, or you touch something to let a demon into you, and you were unaware. And another, or playing with Ouija boards can get you demon possessed too. But being attacked by the octopus spirit or by python spirit is not the same thing as demon possession, because there's someone else. There's demon possession is an entity that is not of this world, not in its 3D form, but actually in the 5, 6, and D, the other world that's actually coming in to possess you. A python attack is just someone that's on this earthly plane that's actually using some type of witchcraft or warfare, prayer, words, or whatever to come against you, and that's easier to get rid of. That's not the same thing as demon possession. I just want to make that very clear as well. The python spirit, they speak directly into your conscious. What it does is it's a mind control. They try to control your right and left brain through, like I said, through like medical terminology and stuff like that. Well, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Holy Spirit told me just to leave it brief like that, and you can actually come back that stuff. There's Divine Light have a whole plethora. They don't have the limbic system, but it's other channels that have the limbic system where that you can rejuvenate your limbic system. You can, how can I say? You can basically use a sound frequency to release those constraints off your, especially by the python spirit. You can use sound frequency to release yourself. It's easy to do that. A lot of times, when you're up this high where I am in the spiritual realm, a lot of times you're not going to be able to watch TV. You're not going to be able to live a normal life because you're not normal anymore. You're highly involved spiritually and physically. A big change, a transformation is going to happen in your life. And the more you stagnate into not knowing what's going on, is the more you stagnate your future. If these spiritualists stay alive, a lot of times these spiritualists that does this cannot stay alive. These negative spiritualists cannot stay alive because they'll constantly do it, constantly mess with your life. They'll constantly do it. And I'm not saying go out there and just murder somebody, but God has a way of putting, these karmics have a way of putting themselves in situations, let's just say, that makes them vulnerable to their very attacks. Let's put it that way. So, so just be aware of that, you guys, and be aware of not of binding spells. That, or like a couple of weeks ago, people think that I was struggling with it, and I was. I didn't even know somebody had bound by will because of them doing. Not only did they do spell work on my lymphatic system, on my limbic system, but then they decided to bind my will while they did that, and it was supposed to leave me for dead, and it didn't. It just stagnated me for a while. So, and it showed up as like it was a python spirit, but it wasn't. It was a python spirit after they sent the python spirit after they see that it didn't take me all the way out. So just be aware. My warfare is intense, and I hope you can follow what I'm saying. Because I go through a tremendous amount of warfare, and people just don't understand. Oh, why is she writing like that, or why is she acting like that? A lot of times, the spirit, the magic, and the negative forces that they place on you and beside you, and within you, will have people looking at you crazy. And it's not all the time. If you're not spiritually sound, you would not know that. You would just think this person's outside their mind. A lot of people that walk around that's mentally ill is because somebody placed magic on them or curses on their family or something like that. It's not because they're supposed to be that way. And I'm just bringing awareness to this so people can understand marine spirits are real. Octopus spirits are real. Medusa spirits are real. Just because you can't see them, they can affect your life in so many ways that until you get in it, you'll be like, a lot of people don't survive these things. I am surviving because it's my purpose to shine light, to bring people out of the darkness and to shine light on that so you can see, hey, this is real. Hey, we need to ump our warfare prayers up. We need to constantly do this and constantly do that. We need to set this up where that we can actually come here and not have to descend, but can actually ascend in the spiritual realm. And that is my true purpose here. That is my true calling for me and my twin. And we're doing that gracefully, even though it may not seem like it to you, but the Holy Spirit and the spiritual world are very pleased with us. So